I just turned 25 years old and went through my quarter life crisis. If you search up quarter life crisis, I basically had the exact symptoms of everything in that definition. And if any of you can relate to self-doubt, questioning life, feeling lost, lonely, confused, pressure to succeed, feelings of inadequacy, and like just overall purpose, watch till the end as I talk about my own journey, give some tips of what I've learned, and a solution of how I've been navigating through all of this. So the first thing that generally happens is the comparison game. And one of the biggest contributions to this is social media. We scroll Instagram and we see everyone succeeding in life, graduating out of university, people blowing up on social media, people posting about the holidays they go on, and like them advancing in their careers. And then the next thing that happens is that now we might feel behind in life. And I think this is the part where we're going wrong. Because when we say we are behind, what metric of comparison are we using? It's all just a metric that's completely made up in our heads. Society has kind of just made this unrealistic timeline of where everyone should be in our life by a certain age. And that's just not right, because everyone has their own journey and everyone goes through their own ups and downs. For some of us, we're Nepo babies and have a life significantly easier. For others, we might have more downs than ups. And I think if you are a part of that population that has more downs than ups, then I think it's quite unfair to be comparing yourselves to everyone else, because everyone else didn't have to go through the same trauma as you did or have the same disadvantages that you had. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is to your past self, the person you were yesterday. And sometimes it's hard because you don't know how you can improve, as like you might have a very specific situation that not many people face, and it might be hard to find that kind of person who has been in that similar situation. But I think one thing that's helped me is that surrounding myself with people I admire and are inspired by, and just learning from them. They might not be able to solve your specific situation, but it still helps to know different strategies so that you can form your own. So definitely finding a better friend circle, subscribing, following, and listening to people you look up to is a powerful thing. If you can, try and find a creator who has gone through a similar situation as you and is just one step ahead, because then they can act as your mentor and show you the exact step to take. That way you shift your focus from everyone else's timeline to your specific journey. Number 2 is lack of direction in life. I think for a lot of us, we go through life without any mentors or any guidance. We kind of just follow what everyone else is doing because we don't know any better. I know this because that was me for literally my entire life. I came out of school taking up a job in construction because I thought it was the safest and best thing to do. But it got to a point where every morning I'd just start to ask myself, what the heck am I doing with my life? Or is this really how I want to be spending the next few decades? It's easy to follow the crowd, but it's hard to find a purpose. And the reason we feel pointless is that we haven't asked ourselves the right questions. I had to pause my life and really start asking myself, what do I actually want to do? What problems do I actually want to solve? What's been the biggest struggle for me? And by asking myself these reflective questions, I was able to find a direction that felt authentic to me, not to society. And so I think one of your best tips from me to you is to journal. Set some time aside, sit down and reflect on your life. Write down the things you've enjoyed doing, the things you've hated, your biggest struggles, your greatest strengths, your passions. And by asking yourself these questions, you might just find that purposeful, fulfilling life you're looking for. If you do want to start journaling, I'm going to recommend this journal here. I've been using it for a while and it really helps you get a nice journal for yourself, because you want to be able to make the journaling experience as pleasant as possible. So getting a nice green book with a tree to represent growth helps. It has a hard front cover to ensure that your pages don't get bent when you shove it in your bag. It also has a little pen holder here, which is really helpful because I'm always looking for a pen. And it also has these 3 boxes on every page, which shows the weather, so you can note down the weather on that specific day. And over time, you'll be able to link your mood with the type of weather for the day. It also has this bookmark string to help you find where you left off. Plus, it has a spot to place the date here, which I find it useful because sometimes I'm not journaling every day, and that way you don't waste pages, unlike some other journals where it's dated for every page, and then when you miss a day, you can't really write on that page anymore. I mean, technically you can, but it kind of throws you off and messes with the OCD kind of thing, you know? But basically, you just want to be making the process super easy and enjoyable, and this journal does just that. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to get this exact one. Number 3, the pressure buildup of life. Have you ever been told to travel while you're young, to build your career, and to also find a partner, but then also somehow save money for the future, because I have. And when you're in your 20s, the pressure comes at you from every direction. You're trying to get your career started, but at the same time, the cost of living is going up. You don't have savings. And then you see people your age buying your houses, getting married, traveling the world, while you're still trying to figure things out. On top of that, if you come from a disadvantaged background with no real family support, it feels like you're playing life on real hard mode, and it does not make it easier. So all of this pressure kind of stacks up and you start to feel like you're way behind. I think the most difficult part about this is that everyone is telling you to follow your passions and dreams, but sometimes following your passions and dreams doesn't pay the bills. And I guess this is where things get difficult when you're trying to do everything else in life. I had one friend tell me that the dating pool gets smaller every year. And it's like, thank you for telling me and for letting me know. That's probably true, but you've just added extra pressure in my life. And at the same time, it's like, how can I possibly find a partner when I've got nothing going for me yet? And because I don't have anything going for me, you think to yourself, who's going to want someone who doesn't have a solid, stable career? No one. So you start facing that increased pressure of reality. And then on top of that, you have people telling you to go explore the world while you're young, otherwise you'll regret it when you get older. But then you can't because you don't have any money and you need to build your career first. So the pressure keeps stacking on even more. And I'm not gonna lie, this is something that I'm still struggling with. But I think what helps is to take a breather and accept that it's okay to not have everything figured out. Everyone has their own journey and life doesn't move in this straight linear line. I think what also helps is to redefine what success means to you, not what society labels as success. Society's version of success is like big mansions and luxurious cars. But I've realized for me personally, I don't really care about those things. Being successful for me is just being able to do what I want when I want without having to worry financially, and inspiring people to find direction and take action in their life. I think the last tip I have on navigating through all of this pressure is to just take one step at a time in the right direction after figuring out your purpose, and continue to learn the skills required to fulfill your purpose. Placing your focus on multiple things at the same time is overwhelming and pointless, to be honest, because you become paralyzed and stuck. I've just learned to focus on the things I can control and just take small steps towards building the life I want. That's all I wanted to discuss today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would love to know. And if you want to learn how you can start making the best decisions for your life, click on this video here. If you want to follow along my journey, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.